Welcome to the all-new Sports Visions on Bounce TV and to our worldwide web viewers on www.sportsvisionsusa.com. Hello, everybody. I'm DJ Jones alongside my good friend and traveling partner, Dale Williams. How are you, sir?
What's up, player?
Hey, man, it's the second season, as they say. Of course, when you get to the playoffs, the NBA is in the second season. And, of course, we'll have an opportunity to talk a little bit more about that in just a little bit.
That's right. It's playoff time, DJ. And, you know, we're in the land of no blood, no foul. Records don't mean anything. It's just last one to go.
Also got the NFL draft, man. We got some young men's dreams have come true. Of course, these young men have been playing ball all their lives, and their names were called. And we have an opportunity to talk a little bit about that kind of feeling and what it's like to be taken in the draft. And, of course, we had an opportunity to spend some intimate time with one of the SEC great coaches, Coach Sonny Smith, Auburn University's legendary basketball coach. All that and more coming up next on Sports Visions.
Selection now, saving now, value now. Columbus is Nissan Town, and the Nissan Now sales event is on now. Now, save $5,000 on a new Altima. That's right. Now, drive a new Altima, an IIHS top safety pick with $5,000 in savings. The best time to buy is right now.
Nissan Now sales event. Don't miss it. We'll see you soon. Headquarter Nissan.
Welcome back to Sports Visions. As we said during the opening, the second season in the NBA is upon us. And, you know, regardless of how great you played the regular season, and, of course, 82 games is a long, long schedule and a long, long season. And we've seen some magnificent play, namely the Golden State Warriors breaking the regular season record. But you get to the playoffs, and all of a sudden you got these players that you're counting on, these franchise guys getting nicked up. And, you know, with the Clippers, we got Chris Paul that's gone down with a broken bone in his hand. Of course, Steph Curry, in addition to his ankle injury, the MRI say that he has a sprained knee, which he's going to miss 2 weeks. I mean, where does it stop? I mean, you get to this point in the season and you're ready to compete for a championship, and these injuries pop up.
Well, you know, DJ, we always said that, you know, the NBA playoffs, it is a second season. Everything starts off, you're going to hear words like depth. You need depth. You need to be able to have 10 that you can throw in a game. Superstars, the superstar quality kind of fades, especially when you get injured. The Steph Curry, please, you know, had an ankle injury, knee injury now, but I really think they have enough depth on Golden State, DJ, that it really is not going to matter. They're just that good. You know, when you start talking about Chris Paul, he is the playmaker. He is the straw that stirs the drink for the L.A. Clippers. So you got a lot of variables that happen during the NBA playoffs, and then on top of, they're more intense, they're more passionate, they're definitely more physical, and the NBA officials let you play.
Absolutely, and I know that, again, you know, the fans, it's not fair, but, you know, again, that's when you start hearing the prognosticators and all the experts, when they talking about, you know, pursuing and winning a championship in the National Basketball Association, you always hear staying healthy first. Regardless of the talent, you got to stay healthy because, again, there's so many games and it's such a grind. And, again, you know, when you talk about, you know, all of these games back to back to back in all of these cities, you know what, you wonder at this point in time of the season, you know, what you have left in the tank.
You always worry about what you got left in the tank. But the other piece is like, you gotta respect the team that gets hot at the right time. You know, and just looking at all what's going on with the playoff matchups, even with the Hawks and the Celtics. That's 2-2 as we speak right now, DJ. The Celtics are playing well. And then I've been very surprised with the Miami Heat and the Charlotte Hornets. Michael Jordan's probably about 2 players away from having Charlotte competing real, you know, for real here in a minute. So you got new players, you got a new team that gets hot at the right time. You know, then you look at, you know, the old school. You got the San Antonio Spurs, you got the OKC Thunder. That's going to be a big time. That's going to be a big time series, and again, it's going to fall to depth. Everybody knows that San Antonio is old. But at the same time, Russell Westbrook and his young legs and his guys are going to be ready to play. But that's going to be an interesting series.
You mentioned the Hawks series, and again, when we opened up talking about injuries, but, you know, again, first game in game one against the Hawks, Avery, their outstanding guard, goes down again, but they were able to fight and battle. And again, Isaiah Thomas has been playing out of his mind, especially going back into Boston. He hit game 3, had 42 points, and, of course, very, very significant factor in game 4 to tie it up. But again, the Hawks having the opportunity to bring it back to Atlanta and get back on the right track. Paul Millsaps has been going off. And again, I know we hadn't seen a single performance in the playoffs from the Hawks since Dominique Wilkins. And again, we go back to those late 80s when Dominique and the Celtics battle. But Millsaps hitting 40 points, I mean, usually that's very unrealistic when you see the way that the Hawks team plays. Usually those guys have, a couple of them have 18, 20 points a game, but never one guy with that many points.
Well, you're three-headed dragon on each team, with Millsap, with T, with Corbin, with Horford. These guys got to play, especially for the Atlanta. They have depth. They have some depth, and they're playing well. But at the same time, they have to click on all cylinders every night, DJ. And and really the X factor for the Hawks has been the Kyle Korver piece. If he's hitting threes, the Hawks are playing good. They're playing much more intense, up tempo. Jeff Teague, he has to be aggressive, DJ. And, Horford can get in where he fits in, rebounds, blocking shots, doing the things that he needs to do. The Hawks need to turn up, play, or they're going to be in trouble here in a minute. If they go back to they're going back to Boston, for Game 6. They need to close them out.
Well, one thing is for sure is that, the Eastern Conference right now is sitting pretty because you got the Cavaliers already eliminated. They're done. They're sitting and waiting.
Right.
Get a week off before they play. And again, I think that works to the advantage of a veteran team having time off to rest and, of course, to heal up, getting ready for either the Celtics or the Hawks. But
right.
All in all, again, we're looking for a showdown. Now, on the West, as far as the Western Conference, again, all eyes are on Steph Curry. All storylines are about Steph Curry because, again, this sprained knee being missing 2 weeks, I mean, that's really the whole second round. And, again, but great depth, as you said.
That's right. They have great depth. And, again, no shade on Steph Curry because, again, he's probably going to be the MVP again this year. But at the same time, they have so much depth. And they shoot from three with so much accuracy that I really don't think it's going to bother them. I mean, they're 3-1 against Houston right now. They're going to win that series. Then they'll go on to play the Portland, L.A. Clippers people. I think they might be pretty safe, but I'm telling you, the series to watch, DJ, is going to be that OKC and San Antonio.
All right. Don't go anywhere. Coming up in just a little bit, you'll have an opportunity to hear from one of the brightest minds in SEC college basketball history. That's right. Coach Sonny Smith, former Auburn Tigers basketball coach, coming up next.
Truth be truth, the will to win will win. So intimidate your darkest fear. Revive every forgotten fantasy. Set goals you can never reach, then reach them. Count cards to fight fate stack deck. And if you want to win as much as you want to live, you're ready to reign on.
Hi, I'm Philip Dabbitt with ENS Men's Clothing Warehouse. We'd like to say thank you, Columbus and the Bi-City area, for 20 great years on Macon Road in the heart of Columbus. We're inviting you out to our 20th anniversary sale with bigger savings and deals than ever before.
To help show our appreciation, ENS is offering complete suit and tux packages only $99. Jackets, pants, shirts, and ties, a $199 value for just $99. Find us on Facebook for details on how to win a suit or tux package. Come celebrate our 20th anniversary. ENS, where you get more for a whole lot less.
Come into Chester's Barbecue for our world-famous mouth-watering ribs, smoked fresh on our grill daily. Or try one of our barbecue pork plates with fresh sides. Chester's has delicious sandwich combos to choose from that are sure to please. We also serve tempting home-cooked favorites. And don't forget to take home your own bottle of great sauce. Chester's Barbecue, serving the best food at the best price. 3 locations to serve you.
Welcome back to Sports Visions. Joining me right now, one of the true legends in the Auburn Nation. Of course, we're talking about none other than the legendary Coach Sonny Smith. How are you, sir?
I'm great.
Welcome to Sports Visions.
Well, I'm glad to be on with you. Thanks for asking me to.
Well, obviously, Coach, you have made a name for yourself in the SEC and one of the legendary coaches, of course, throughout the game of college basketball. I want to interview you a little differently. I want to use, you're 79 years old. It's hard to believe, folks, 79 years old. You coached a long time.
Yes.
But I want to throw some names or some subjects at you and just hear you respond.
Sure.
Right off the bat, Stephen Curry, is taking the nation by storm, the NBA by storm. What's your impressions of what he's doing?
I don't think I've ever seen a person that can shoot the ball moving and standing as well as Stephen. I knew his dad. I coached at Virginia Tech, and his dad was a great shooter there. And I thought, I may never see a guy any better than his dad, but he's better. And the other son is actually better than his dad. But that's three great shooters in that family. But the thing about him, moving and standing, he's just as good either way, and that's very difficult to do.
Another great NBA player that most recently retired, they called him the Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant, 20 years in the NBA. What's your impressions? What's your thoughts on Kobe?
My college roommate and teammate coached Kobe, Dale Harris. You know that name?
Yes.
Dale told me years ago, he said, Sonny, he's the best basketball player in the world. I said, no, that's not. He said he can do anything. He can post up, he can block shots, he can run the floor, he can shoot out, and he said he's one of the most competitive people I've ever met. So I was thinking you can't say much any better about a person than that.
In this competitive college basketball world today, and of course you were during the heyday and some of the great years you've had with some great players. What's your impressions on the one-and-done situation now as it is in college?
I think it hurts the game of basketball. I think that it doesn't allow basketball to be as competitive from top to bottom. I think the teams that are at the top can do it, and the teams that are lesser than that cannot do it. And it may, like, there's too many top-heavy leagues, and I think one and done has something to do with it, but not as much as a lot of other things. But if I were a coach, would I do one and done? In a second. Even though I don't like it, I would do it.
Gino Auriemma, 4 national championships, back-to-back, 11 total. Your impression?
Well, I thought Pat Summitt's record would never be broken. I thought she's the best that ever coached this game. Now I'm absolutely sure that Gino's record will never be broken. He's incredible. What he does, and he does it. He's such a great coach as well as a recruiter. You know, you get billed as a coach. Well, they say he's a great recruiter, or he's an offensive coach. This guy's a total package.
We're sitting in a very, very fine facility here. This is just the practice facility of the Auburn Arena, the beautiful Auburn Arena. We played. You of course played in your games across the street in the old Coliseum.
Yeah.
Your impressions of the facilities today?
Well, it's changed the Auburn basketball program. It's made it much more competitive. It's caught up with the rest of the basketball world in facilities. This is a tremendous facility. Joel Eves was a good facility, but it was too big because we could never fill it up but 2 or 3 times a year. Well, they fill this thing up every night. They've got the practice facility to gauge against other people's practice facilities. So I would say that it's terrific. And you got to have this now to compete, and that's amazing.
Coach, many years in the SEC. Of course, you've had some great players from, of course, Mike Jones to Persons. We can go on and on. But the bottom line is, coaching in the SEC, obviously the football conference, supposedly. What's your take on that?
I think the years that I coached in the SEC, basketball was better. And people say, oh, he's just talking that old school talk. The reason basketball is better didn't have anything to do with anything except back in my day, we could get players in school that they have to go to junior college today. Used to, we could get them in with a 2.0 and like 700 on the college boards. Well, today you can't take that player, even though that's a pretty good score for people for chances to make it. So we got players that they had to develop academically some other place before you can get them, and that's the only difference. But I will say this, the athletes today are better than the ones we had back then, only from an athletic standpoint. Stature, structure, muscular structure, the build, the weight program. I think weight programs are so much better than they used to be.
If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle, come see us at Express Motors, 1210 14th Street, Phoenix City, Alabama. or give us a call 334-384-9101 with hundreds of vehicles to choose from. In-house financing, the right vehicle at the right price for you. We don't want all your business, just yours. Come see us, 1210 14th Street, Phoenix City, Alabama, or go online, www.expressmotorspc.com.
Hello, I'm Coach Sonny Smith, former Auburn basketball coach, encouraging you to join me for the 4th annual MJ Basket Plus Youth Summer Camp. It's going to be at Carver High School Gym from 8:30 till 3 p.m. July the 11th through the 13th, 7 to 12-year-olds. July 14th through the 16th, 13 through 18-year-olds. Please contact Lester Hood at 706-580-9240 or DJ Jones at 706-681-1136. War Eagle.
Scott Sawyer with Diverse Power. Diverse Power wants our customers to enjoy all the benefits that reliable, consistent electric service provides. Our BPI certified technicians offer duct blaster testing of your HVAC ductwork to locate leaks. We also offer a full blower door examination that will qualify homeowners and home builders to meet the new Energy Code building standards. At Diverse Power, we offer innovation through vision, quality through service.
Coach, I know you're old school. I say I'm old school when you consider today, but the culture of the game has changed. What's your impressions? I know you still, are close enough to the game today to understand and to answer this question, but what do you think about the culture of the young athletes today versus back when you coached?
Well, from a coaching standpoint, it's totally changed. I think the coach of today has to be a positive motivator. And I think the player of today wants positive motivates. He wants everything to be positive. He doesn't want to be driven. He wants to be taught, and he wants it to be on a positive nature. And I don't know if that's the best way, but I think that's the approach that coaches are taking, and it looks to me like it's working.
Coach, it's no secret that most of the kids and most of the blue chip athletes today, a lot of their thoughts, we talked about one and done, but helping them get to the next level. What's your thoughts with regards to, obviously, you had many guys to go on and play at the next level, but today, as you see it, that's part of the actual recruiting pitch. Sure.
Well, I think every one of them, when you recruit a kid today, he thinks he's going to the NBA. He wants to go to the NBA, and there's a very few numbers that are going to go. You play professional football, even in professional football, there's just a very few of you that have that talent to go. But everybody thinks they got the talent, and it's such a letdown to them when they realize that they can't. So you've got to kind of keep them thinking you've got a chance, and if you work hard enough, there's a chance you'll get there. But in your mind, you know that a lot of your athletes are never going to get there, because I'm going to tell you, even though we talk very little about it, there's a major difference between professional sports and collegiate sports, a big, big difference.
We walked through the arena a little earlier, and of course 9,500 seats, and you said that they're filling them up, but a lot of credit has to go to Bruce Pearl. And what's your impressions of Coach Pearl?
I think he's a total package, and when I say total package, there's a lot of guys who can coach the game, but he's great at that. Off the floor, he's great at filling the building, communicating with students, the public, and if somebody needs help out there, he's great working with foundations. There is not any involvement that he just doesn't jump in with both feet, and I'm ultra impressed with him. I really am.
Coach, who's the greatest player that you've coached at Auburn?
Well, I tell you,
and I know you've had a couple.
I always say it's a tie between Barkley and Person. Well, I'm going to tell you, if I had him for 4 years, a Columbus kid named Mike Jones would be as good as anybody I ever had. And we're playing Kentucky we're playing Indiana in the NCAA tournament. He's got 24 points at the half. I mean, against the best defensive, the national champions.
Right.
He was capable of doing anything. If he had it wasn't a weakness. He didn't jump as high as a lot of people, but there wasn't anything that Mike Jones couldn't do with the ball. And of course, I think Barkley in Person, how they moved on. But Mike Jones has been he's a legend in Europe. I went to VCU to coach, and I sent a number of players to Europe, and I'd say, "Did you ever hear Mike Jones?" They jump up. Mike Jones, he's one of the best we ever played against, and that's true. I wish I'd just been able to coach him for 4 years.
Well, Mike's done a tremendous job in Cyprus with his own basketball academy, and of course, you're going to hear more from Coach talking about his summer camps that he's going to be doing here in Columbus and also Opelika. But as far as coaching today, what's your advice to the young coaches out there that aspire to get to the Division I level, basketball coaches?
Well, I would say don't just coach them on the floor, coach them off the floor. Stay with their everyday habits and everything that they do. Learn the game. Go to clinics. Learn the game. Watch videos. Watch games. But one thing I would tell a guy, if he was in high school wanting to get this pro, I would say develop your own style. Don't try to be somebody else or coach like somebody else. Like they'll say, I love to run the triangle. Well, you may not have triangle material. So I think develop your own style would be my biggest advice to any guy.
Lastly, Coach, I know we hear this all the time, but I want to hear it from you because, again, you got so many great years in this game and you've done so much for this game. But when you hear people talking about whether it's the AAU programs or any of our youth programs, they're throwing the ball out there and letting the kids run up and down the courts. They're not getting any fundamentals, obviously, which means that the Europeans are ahead of us. What's your take on, what's your thoughts about that now? Is that true?
I think it is true to a certain degree. And I'll say this, the AAU coach doesn't have enough time to practice the kids and develop them. But they do have time to take them to tournaments, and they take them to the best tournaments in the country, and they treat them great. They give them great equipment, and the kids really believe in them. They really believe in them. But the AAU coach just doesn't have enough time because they have that great relationship. That still doesn't make that basketball player into what he needs to be. They need to develop him in practice with fundamentals that you just mentioned. And so they're fundamental minus trying to make it to the next level, and they get hurt by this. So I'm a fan of AAU basketball, but I do wish the AAU coaches had more time to practice and not more time to play. And maybe I'm wrong about that.
Well, Coach, we certainly appreciate this time that you're spending with us. There's a lot of valuable information that our viewing audience out there will have to have the opportunity to hear from a guy who is your name should be Mr. Basketball because of the great things you've done. But again, thank you so much for joining us on the show, and we look forward to speaking with you in the future.
Well, thanks for having me on. It's been fun.
All right. We'll be right back after these messages.
A smile is the most admirable thing you can wear. And for anyone age 1 to 101, Cook Dental Care has a smile for you. Dr. Kathy L. Cook offers a wide range of individualized, innovative services from basic preventative dentistry to specialized care. We provide comprehensive dental care for the entire family, including pediatric. Insurance, financing, walk-ins, and new patients are always welcome. So for your family's dental care, visit Cook Dental Care.
Come into Chester's Barbecue for our world-famous mouth-watering ribs, smoked fresh on our grill daily. Or try one of our barbecue pork plates with fresh sides. Chester's has delicious sandwich combos to choose from that are sure to please. We also serve tempting home-cooked favorites. And don't forget to take home your own bottle of great sauce. Chester's Barbecue, serving the best food at the best price. With 3 locations to serve you.
And welcome back to today's final segment of Sports Visions. And I tell you, Coach Smith, Dale, just sitting there talking and sharing those old stories. And I tell you, we had probably the most interesting interview off camera because, you know what? As great as he is, he remembers all the great football teams that we played on, and he talked about those times. And, of course, he has a lot of knowledge of college football in the SEC.
Like you said, DJ, when you were telling me about it, I mean, you guys have a lot of wisdom. You had some great players playing for him. You really want to just sit there and kind of hold, get in his head and just see what are some of the things that are different now. And I'm sure you touched on all those during your interview, but it's great to have him still over at Auburn.
And one thing is for sure, he's very fond of Mike Jones, one of his former players from right here. And, of course, Mike's camp's going to be coming up in a couple of months, July the 11th through the 17th. And, of course, we'll have details, and you'll also have an opportunity to hear more about Mike's camp from Coach Smith.
That's big, man. You know, I'm looking forward to this camp this summer, and really, you know, from football to basketball, all camps, parents, they are very important.
All right, the NFL draft started on Thursday, and of course, dreams came true, man. You know, I can remember as a young boy, you and I used to go out in the yard and emulate the professional players and teams that we saw on television. Yeah. We used to do slow motion football.
That's right.
Tackle man. Whatever happened to those days?
I mean, I don't know, cell phones, games, you know, video games, but really one of the biggest things, you know, that's where the dreams start, DJ. That's where your vision start when you kind of emulate those people that you want to be like. You know, for us watching it on television with all the sports that come on television, why couldn't you not sit down and watch sports and try to get better? And we need to address that as days come, DJ.
Absolutely. And I know we touched on it last year at the draft, during the NFL draft, but this year certainly more so than any time. You know, these I guess tailors or haberdashers, they're coming into play because all of these guys now, all of them that show up in Chicago with these custom tailored suits. And again, these guys, you know, again, I don't understand why we can't talk those guys into wanting to dress like that a lot sooner than just when they're getting ready to leave college.
That's right. You know, really, you try to talk them into that, but you know, the theme is this, DJ: get paid, young brother, get paid. You know, everybody wants to get paid. Everybody wants to, you know, be a first-round draft choice or just get into the league because really, we see a cultural change. We see a trend, DJ, now that players are not playing as long as they used to. I think that 10-year player or that 10-year veteran piece, I think that's what's going to be going to the wayside.
You're absolutely right, man. And like you said, they're getting paid, man. When you get, you know, anywhere from $4 to $10 million in signing bonus and guaranteed money, there's just no reason for you to take these, you know, these extra risks that we had to take.
That's
Again,
right.
A lot of that money, you talk about, you know, you put 3 or 4 of us together and we wouldn't make some of the monies that it wouldn't add up to the contracts that some of these young men have. All right, I know we're talking about the draft, but congratulations to a guy that I think a lot of, Josh Norman, former Carolina Panther cornerback, signed a 5-year, $75 million contract with the Washington Redskins. Of course, nearly $50 million of that money is guaranteed. He is now the highest paid defensive back in the league.
Well, you know, DJ, that's a good example of where we're going with the money piece and with really players, free agent players, franchise players, family, and all these other things. Really, it's nothing personal. It's all business. But if you got to go somewhere else and get your other $5 million, I think they were like $5 million short with the Carolina Panthers. But to get $15 million and $50 guaranteed, DJ, hey man, I got a ride, player.
All right. Well, again, congratulations to those guys who got drafted up to this point. Still more selections to be made and free agents to be signed. So don't feel bad, guys, if you don't get your name called. All right, that's going to do it for all the time we have for today's show. For Dale Williams, I'm DJ Jones, reminding you to keep your eye on the ball. Have a great week.
Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you.